Okay, let's dive in. We've heard from so many of you feeling like, well, like the ground is shifting under your feet.
Yeah, that sense that everything work, money, how things should be, it's all changing so fast.
Exactly, and we're feeling it too. So today, we want to really unpack this source material you sent over.
Uh-huh.
It tackles this feeling head on. The core idea seems to be, it's not just that the world outside is changing.
Right.
It's that we're still trying to play by old rules, rules that just don't apply anymore. And that's where the real friction is.
That's the absolute heart of it, isn't it? The rules of the game, as the source puts it, they've totally changed.
But we're stuck.
We're often stuck operating on this old programming, the whole study hard, work diligently, climb the ladder, be safe idea.
Our classic path.
The classic path. And holding on to that in this world, that's described as the starting point for, well, a personal crisis.
It's like running ancient software on a brand new super fast computer. Just doesn't work.
Precisely. And the sources frame this really well as a kind of generational mindset shift. It's not saying the old rules were wrong for their time.
Just outdated now.
Exactly, they're outdated. The industrial age thinking was about time and compliance. You put in the hours, followed the rules, got stability.
That was the deal.
That was the deal. But the information age, it rewards different things entirely. Insight, speed, creating value, networking.
So those old rules, they just sort of expired.
They expired. The moment the economic engine shifted, those guarantees went with it.
Okay, let's make this concrete. The sources use a really powerful example everyone remembers.
Yeah.
The 2008 financial crisis.
Right, 2000.
For so many people, that felt like the moment the map just got torn up, completely out of the blue.
And what's really interesting is how the sources analyzed 2008. They argue it wasn't just a financial meltdown.
More than just banks failing.
Much more. They call it a crisis of mindset. Millions lost everything because they'd done exactly what the old rules told them to do.
They worked hard for big companies.
They worked diligently, bought houses, assuming future stability, basically believed that compliance guaranteed safety.
And then, poof.
And then the foundation crumbled. Because that safety, that guarantee, it wasn't really there anymore.
So hang on. Is the source saying hard work and diligence don't matter now? Because that sounds a bit bleak.
No, not at all. They're still essential. Absolutely. But they're not enough on their own. Not anymore.
They're necessary, but not sufficient.
You got it. The key takeaway here, and it's blunt, is that safety, the kind the industrial age promised, is largely an illusion today. That guarantee vanished with the shift to the information age.
And that really forces you to rethink everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially the things we were taught guaranteed success. Like, that expensive degree.
Exactly. The source is pretty direct about this. That degree, that company loyalty. It doesn't offer the same security blanket it might have for, say, our parents.
So who does guarantee security then? If not the company, not the government, not the diploma?
Well, this is the startling part. According to these sources, the answer is no one external.
No one.
No external entity.
Right.
Not the government, not your employer who could automate your job tomorrow, and not the piece of paper from university. Waiting for rescue from outside. That's staying vulnerable.
Okay, so if the 2008 crisis showed the old map is useless, what are the new landmarks? What's the new operating system for navigating this?
Right. Let's decode that. The contrast is pretty stark.
The old rule was linear.
Yeah. Industrial age, do well in the system, get rewarded by the system, live a stable life within the system. Predictable.
Okay, and the new rule?
Information age survival, according to the source, is about nonlinearity. It's those who understand deeply, those who adapt, quickly survive.
Wow, so it's less about fitting into a role.
And more about being agile, insightful. It's a shift from being a cog in the machine to potentially being the designer of the engine.
That leads to a huge question then. If stability, that external safety net, is gone, what do we aim for instead? What replaces that?
Great question, and the sources are really clear on this. The only reliable protection is internal. It's cultivating self-sovereignty of thought and taking control of your own future.
Okay, self-sovereignty of thought. That sounds a little academic. Can you break that down? What does that actually mean for someone listening right now?
Sure. It basically means your decisions, your values, what you pursue. It comes from inside you, not from waiting for a boss or the market or society to tell you what's safe or important.
So you decide what problems matter.
You decide what problems you want to solve, what value you want to create. Instead of just taking the task you're given, protection becomes something you build internally through your thinking and skills, not just a number in a bank account.
That helps. That framework makes it much clearer. Okay, so let's get practical. The sources lay out three big shifts in focus, three concrete changes needed to align with these new rules.
Yeah, these are the action points, really. The first one tackles your whole professional identity.
Right. Shift one, from employment to values. So
Yeah.
stop looking just for a job description.
Exactly. Stop looking to just fit into a slot someone else created. The focus shifts to creating value. Real, undeniable value that solves a problem or meets a need.
What's the mindset difference there? Can you give an example?
Think about it. Someone focused on employment asks, what jobs are open? What skills do I need for that job?
Oh,
Someone focused on value asks, what's a significant problem out there I can help solve? What unique contribution can I make? The job or the income becomes a result of the value you bring, not the starting point.
that makes sense. And it links directly to the money side of things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is shift two, from earning to controlling.
Absolutely crucial because just earning money, especially from one source, leaves you dependent, vulnerable.
Like we saw in 2008.
Precisely. The shift is towards controlling cash flow.
Okay, but what does controlling cash flow look like for, say, someone with a regular salary job? They can't just suddenly become a venture capitalist.
No, it's not necessarily about massive scale initially. It's about recognizing the risk of a single income stream. It's about building redundancy, leverage,
So multiple streams.
maybe, or finding ways to package and monetize the value you create, that skill, that solution, perhaps in different ways, maybe digitally. So you're not just trading time for money in one place, turning your knowledge into an asset you control.
So it's less about getting rich quick and more about building resilience, having multiple ways money flows to you, ways you manage.
Exactly. Financial sovereignty, in a way. Which leads perfectly into the third shift, tackling the anxiety of it all. Shift 3. From safety to proactivity.
Trading, waiting for...
Doing.
Yeah.
You got it.
If the guarantee of external safety is gone, you can't just passively wait for things to get better or for someone else to fix it. You have to replace waiting with active engagement, constant action.
What does that look like day to day?
It means you stop just optimizing inside the box someone else built. You start creating, adapting, looking ahead. If you're waiting for the economy to settle down or for your boss to tell you the next step, you're still playing by the old rules.
So proactivity is about constantly asking, what can I learn now? What can I build now? What move increases my capacity, my value, regardless of the external noise? It's taking the reins.
When you put all three together, value, control, proactivity, it paints a picture of a much more, well, involved way of living.
It is. And the sources connect this to a bigger societal shift, too, away from mass industrialization thinking
Towards.
towards self-expression and self-actualization. It's a different era.
And the winner in this new game isn't just the best employee anymore.
No. The sources suggest the winner isn't defined as the best performer within the old system, but maybe the most awakened, the most conscious, the most proactive in shaping their reality.
Wow. Okay. So let's bring this home for everyone listening. What's the bottom line? We can't play the game of the last century and expect to win today.
You just can't. Trying to force that old playbook, it leads to burnout, frustration, feeling lost. The sources are really emphatic. The change has to start inside. With your choices, your mindset.
It's an internal upgrade.
It's fundamentally about internal growth. If you're serious about navigating this new world, the sources say you need to cultivate 3 core capacities. Build your own internal institution for advancement.
Okay, what are those 3 capacities? How do we start building?
First, the capacity for self-learning. You have to become your own curriculum director. Constantly learning, updating your skills based on what's needed, not just what a degree taught you years ago. Lifelong learning isn't a cliche anymore. It's survival.
Okay, self-learning, what's second?
The capacity for self-creation of value. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for a role to be defined for you. Identify needs, solve problems, contribute proactively. Don't just occupy space, create value.
Makes sense. And the third, which feels maybe the most important in all this uncertainty.
Absolutely, the capacity for self-leadership.
Johnny and yourself.
Being your own guide. Setting your own direction, your own standards for success, independent of external pats on the back, having the internal compass to navigate when the external maps are confusing or gone.
So it really means letting go of searching for that external refuge, that perfectly safe company, that guaranteed pension.
Yeah, giving up the search for the external savior. And the sources offer this really beautiful reversal at the end.
Yeah.
When you stop looking for a place of refuge outside yourself. When you build that safety and value internally,
Then what happens?
then you become the refuge. Your capability, your proactivity, your self-leadership that becomes the stable point that others might even seek out in a volatile world.
That completely flips the script. Incredible.
Yes, it does.
So the takeaway isn't to fear the change, it's an invitation.
It's an invitation, yeah. A mandate, almost, to change skin and change thinking, as the source puts it. Upgrade your perception, your consciousness.
Because the future doesn't belong to the strongest ox, clinging to the old ways.
It belongs to the conscious, the adaptable, the proactive, those mastering these new rules of value, control, and self-leadership.
Fantastic. A lot to think about there.
Yeah.
It boils down to the fact that the only place you can truly control and remake your world is inside yourself.
That's the starting point.
So the final thought for you, listening.
We've talked about the big picture, the mindset crisis, and those three crucial shifts, focusing on value, taking control, and being proactive.
Where do you start?
Ask yourself, which of those three shifts, value, control, or proactivity, feels like your biggest blind spot right now? Where are you still operating most heavily on the old rules? That's the place to begin digging deeper.